This is the Barbados Today afternoon news for Tuesday, November 21st. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary-Claire Williams. Today's session of Parliament began with special tributes to the former Governor-General, the late Sir Clifford Husbands. Sir Clifford was laid to rest earlier this month following his death on October 11. Leading off the tributes, Prime Minister Frundle Stewart described him as a fair and courageous dispenser of justice.
So one is never, I don't think any accused or any other litigant has ever left the court of Sir Clifford Husband feeling that any injustice was done. He was a fair and courageous dispenser of justice, and that contributed mightily to the reputation he was able to build over time. Not surprisingly, therefore, he was elevated to the Court of Appeal, where he served again with distinction, and courageously, when it mattered, when he did not agree with other members of the panel, he would write a dissenting judgment to put his own views on the record, and in that way to contribute to the jurisprudence, to the development of the country's jurisprudence, and of course the region's jurisprudence.
Meanwhile, in her address to the lower house, opposition leader Mia Motley remembered Sir Clifford as a man with very strong views.
In this life, you have to stand for something or fall for nothing, fall for everything. And I believe that Sir Clifford represented that in every sense. It is impossible for anyone to think of being around him as the head of state of Barbados and not believe that you were called upon for your higher angels to dominate your conduct. I had the good fortune as Attorney General of, when sitting on the Privy Council, of having to be present at Privy Council meetings and to provide formal advice and to have formal engagement with him on a regular basis.
In other news, there's a new twist to the dispute surrounding the dump at Lower Estate in St. George. Owner of the quarry and CEO of Project Recycle, Anderson Cherry, is calling on the police after a number of people were apparently caught on camera on the compound after business hours. Cherry also reported that there was a fire at the quarry on Sunday while the facility was closed for business. He says he does not want to comment any further at this stage, as the matter is now under police investigation. Some high school students say they would like children to have a place at the discussion table on issues of national development. They were speaking to Barbados Today yesterday at a UNICEF rally to mark the observance of Universal Children's Day. They also shared their views on some areas of concern for them.
Children should be involved, to have their own point of view on the matter and share what they have to say, how they feel about the issue and stuff like that. Well, child abuse, bullying and those sort of things that affect children mentally and emotionally, those sort of things.
I am concerned about cyberbullying because people are not really careful about what they put online, and whatever they can put online, it can be harmful because it can cause children not to come back to school or not want to come back to school. It affects them in their work, and I really don't like to see that.
I would love to see that there is a place for children who are not as privileged to get a better education. If they don't have laptops, that there's provisions for them to help build their education to a higher level, to be equal.
I personally think that there should be more emphasis on education and better, making children express themselves better, so we ain't restricted to just a simple syllabus.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back now with news from the region, and we go to Jamaica, where one government minister has been cautioning parents against administering corporal punishment on their children. It comes from the junior minister in the Ministry of Education and Youth, Floyd Green, on the heels of a 6-minute video of a mother beating her young child on her head and other parts of her body. The police is to decide whether the case should be referred to the Director of Public Prosecutions. We get more in this report from TVJ News.
Her child is no more than 4 years old. How in God's name can you convince a child that they're doing something wrong at 4 by using a belt to beat them mercilessly?
The Child Protection and Family Services Agency and the Police Cybercrimes Unit have located the mother in Westmoreland. Counseling has also been arranged for the child.
The child and the family, we have intervened and the child is safe. And we will be doing what we need to do under the Child Care and Protection Act. Because we don't like to say it, but some of these things, they are crimes. It is not discipline, it is abuse.
So how will the police handle the matter?
So far, they have collected statements. They have collected some other device to be used as part of evidence in the event there is a charge. And when I spoke with the detective, they were contemplating in putting together the file, whether to submit a file to the DPP or to see how they will proceed. But they have not made that final determination yet because they are still gathering statements, etc. But the investigation is going on.
In a release on Monday, the Legal Aid Council said it has provided an attorney for the mother. That lawyer should be present when she is being questioned by investigators. In the meantime, Mr. Green insists that corporal punishment is not an appropriate disciplinary tool. He says it promotes violence as a means of settling disputes.
And on the international scene, Robert Mugabe has resigned as president of Zimbabwe. He stepped down this morning shortly after Parliament began impeachment proceedings against him to end his near 40-year rule. Mugabe held on to power for a week after an army takeover and the expulsion from his ruling ZANU-PF party. There were celebrations at a joint sitting of Parliament when the Speaker announced Mugabe's resignation and suspended the impeachment procedure. And that's news this afternoon. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Mary Claire Williams. Good afternoon.